There it goes. We're live-ish. We're recording, at least.
Yay! Hello and welcome to Tales of Athanasia, where a bunch of us make funny faces into the camera and we play D&D. So tonight, our adventurers will venture forth to the mysterious fog at the center of the Marshes of Madness, where they hope to obtain the Fight Stone to continue their quest to save the world. Where we last left off, you all had gone into the marshes just outside of the fog and discovered an ailing sentinel of peace from Usoria through Jareth's sort of reverse time scry. He was able to discover that quite a few sentinels of peace had gone into the fog and not come out again. The sole exception being this one, who now sort of is just rolling around in agony with a severed fate strand, as Jareth was able to identify, coming out of her chest, both ends being frayed. You proceeded to investigate a little bit, try and see if there was anything else to determine about the area and where your goal was, but into the fog was sort of the general conclusion. Yara got a little too close and failed her charisma check and ended up walking straight in. Bran very valiantly attempted to carve a path into the fog using a spell I've never seen used before, which is super cool. And that cleared a path for about a couple of seconds, and then the fog rolled back in again. Also, before Yara went into the fog, she determined that the fog itself is natural, but it is caused by some magical effect causing disturbances in the area. So, you all lined up, tied each other together in a row, and as I remember correctly, I left the map where it was. Bran, I believe you were first, followed by Rocky, and then Jareth, Ronnie, and Hero.
Kind of occupying the same space.
Do you just want to be on my shoulders, but you're kind of directing us?
More like strapped to your soldiers to make sure that I don't jump off and you don't run away.
Do we have anything else to tie you on? Like just okay. All right, we'll tie you on.
So as you all walked into the fog, you heard the voice of someone who was significant to you in some way. And I sent each of you the messages. So I'll go ahead and run back over those. Charles, you heard Kathy speaking to Bran, saying, "Now we know what it might take." Yara heard Mekon saying, "You'll singe my precious feathers and buttons." Ronnie heard Erlasung begging, "Please help." Jareth heard Bran saying, "I swear on my dead relatives, I am your man forever." Dave, I think I marked this down, didn't I?
You sent me a thing.
Yes, the Seraph Time Wizard said to Rocky, "Please do not use this power. It will mean the doom of the world below." And then to Hero, she heard a Night Veil Spectre, I think is what I called it.
I think so.
Saying, oh man, I gotta find it again. Apparently I don't know where I put it. But basically, command me, Empress, and the Shadow Horde will be yours to command.
Yeah.
So, there it is. My Empress, you have but to command me, and the Shadow Horde is yours to command. Excellent. So that brings us to the present moment where all of you had just stepped into the fog. Given the nature of this fog, I'm actually going to roll randomly. Yeah. Ronnie. Your vision in the fog clears. You feel the rope around your waist. But as you press further, you neither feel anyone tugging from behind or pulling you from in front of you. And as you press forward, the fog begins to pull away from your vision. And the sounds of squelching begin to return. As the scene resolves, you catch a glimpse of a blue flash, one that you're familiar with, that comes after your use of the warp stone. And as you peer through the column-like shapes, they resolve and you recognize them as trees. The trees from the forest outside of the Creation Tower. You're able to track the sounds to a prone figure only about 10 feet in front of you on the ground. And you recognize immediately the very bloodied and ripped to shreds body of Erlisum, who now looks behind him up and to one side in your direction. And you look as the woad-covered, furry, wolven form of Einar approaches, apparently completely ignoring your presence. He has blood dripping from his claws. And within a moment or two, you see that he leaps through the air in what appears to be a deadly attack. Time slows. He's frozen in air, claws out and ready to destroy his target. Is there anything you wish to do?
I try to pull Erlisung out of the way.
Okay. So as you reach down toward the ground to grab his wrist, you sense something in the center of your chest suddenly pulled, and this yellow glow begins to enter your vision. And you see now floating out in front of you a single loop of glowing golden thread that's emerging from your chest. And the top thread and the bottom thread begin to spool in different directions, freeing a pair of strands from one another that were previously entwined. One of them pulls free and begins to stretch in Erlisung's direction. The other stays very close to you. And you gain this awareness, this sensation that it's like holding your breath. And you know that if you exhale, that something will go out of you and into the thread reaching toward Erlisung. But if you hold your breath, that strand will never reach him. And you sense that if it does, there will be some kind of irrevocable exchange.
Okay. Remembering the lady with the strands hanging out of her from earlier, I think I'm just going to hold off and not do anything then.
So as your hand reaches toward Erlisung's wrist, you sense the reality of what you are about to do, and you hold your breath. As you do, the strand that was reaching out toward Erlisung begins to pull itself back in, and you start to feel this tension. And it starts to pull harder at you. And the strands begin to twist back together and that tension gets more intense. I'll say make a either strength saving throw or charisma saving throw, whichever you prefer.
$13.
Okay. You're able to resist it for now, but you hear, again, time slowed, but coming from Erlasung's direction, Erlasung's voice, saying, Ronnie, one more side quest. Please.
That's not Earl's song. I ignore him.
Make an insight check.
$17.
Strangely, in this moment, Ronnie's ability to detect falsehood, having been honed perfectly over the course of time, over her life, not only as an adventurer, but also before that. You've gotten used to detecting lies, deceptions. And for a moment, the words of the Sentinel of Peace, before you all entered the fog, ring in your ears as you recall her saying, don't be deceived. It's all real. And in that moment, as much as Ronnie wishes to believe that this is not Jareth, no, just kidding, Erlasung, this is not Erlasung. Something inside of her tells her that this is in fact not only very real, but that it is happening right now.
Random child appears. Yeah, but I'm conflicted because Erlasung would never want another side quest, even if he was dying.
The tension begins to build as you feel that fate thread pulling out of you.
Now I'm still gonna. I'm gonna roll the dice here.
Okay.
Nope, not gonna do anything.
Okay. Once again, Ronnie resists the temptation to help Erlasung. And in response, the thread quickly ravels back together and then suddenly shoots past Erlasung, past Einar, and deeper into the forest somewhere. And then it feels like the thread has reached its limit and the line pulls taut, and she herself is now thrust through some approximation of space past the scene that's going on, and now through, again, the fog that she passed into previously. And we'll come back to her in just a moment. Hero. Very similar to Ronnie's experience, not that Hero would know, but you still sense the rope around you. You were last in line and you don't sense anybody pulling you ahead of you. But as the fog resolves and pulls back, your vision for a moment isn't met with anything but just a black field, a featureless nothing. But slowly, as you kind of absent-mindedly grip the light stone, little rivulets of light come through your fingers, and you begin to see that there is in fact a scene. And as you open your hand a little bit to let the light shine out, you can now see that it's falling on areas of darkness, interrupted only by slightly darker areas of darkness. And off in the distance, you see a thin, orangish red line that begins to slowly resolve itself and expand, like a sun rising behind a smog-filled, thick cloud of air. And these shapes, humanoid shapes, begin to present themselves. Black areas against the rising, dim sunlight. One appears a winged form flying down from above, lands in front of you. There's no sound. There's no movement. There's no air. There's nothing here to suggest that there is substance. And this figure comes off of its mount. Tall, horned helmet, spiked armor coming off either side, cloak billowing out behind and around his shoulders. And as it approaches, it kneels and speaks aloud the words that you heard as you were entering the fog. My Empress, you have but to command me, and the Shadow Horde, and it looks behind itself at all of the shapes, is yours to command. And it raises up a single clawed hand, and as if it were possible to get yet blacker than the surrounding scene, you see an empty void, like a hole, in this creature's hand. But you know intuitively that what he's offering you is the Darkstone. And you suddenly reach down to your pocket where you feel that it's gone.
Sometimes the smallest gestures can be the most refreshing. See that stuff?
Well, that's not good. Can I... Is there any way I can determine whether it's really gone or am I just being messed with?
Sure. Make an intelligence saving throw.
Saving throw. 10.
Okay, cool. Hero, again, because of the warning given by the Sentinel of Peace before you all entered this fog, that kind of rings in her mind, and she's convinced that what she's seeing is somehow simultaneously both happening and not happening. It's real on some level.
But I don't feel anything in that pocket the Darkstone was in before.
Nope.
Well, okay. I want that back, but I'm not going to grab it. I'm actually going to try to wield the Lightstone.
Okay. What will Hero do to wield the Lightstone?
Well, it is an action to make it glow. And for me to do that, I have to punch something.
Okay.
So I'm going to punch it.
Okay, so you're going to punch the Night Veil Spectre.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your attack.
I want that back.
Yeah.
It doesn't need, they should not have it. No matter what I want, they should not have it. 23 to hit.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to do is place a glow on the creature so that I can use the Lightstone as an attack.
Sure. Okay. Your attack hits. Your light-infused punch impales this creature through his chest like wet paper. And slowly, the Night Veil Spectre rises, his form shifting now around your hand. And wherever your hand is, it dissolves him as if he isn't really there. But it reforms around your hand, wherever it isn't, obviously.
So it's like I'm sticking my hand through a ghost, and it's just.
Yeah. Yes, it's exactly like that.
I don't like
He
that.
doesn't appear to be harmed, but definitely the presence of light in this space, it undoes him. As he stands, he, nonplussed, simply states, "Empress, consider the cause." And as he looks behind him, you can see now that the glow that you thought was a sunrise is now being met with an equal glow coming from above. But this one is slightly curved. And you can now see that as these two slightly curved line and straight line begin to approach one another, the orange glow coming from each of them begins to intensify and broaden. You start to hear a rumbling, a rushing of air, something that suggests to you that something very big is happening off in the distance. Go ahead and make an insight check. As you watch, your mind begins to wrap itself around what exactly is happening. And you realize that you're watching the descent of the moon as it's falling to the surface of Athanasia. And then you hear the screeches and the cries of Corvians as they begin to fly off the surface of the descending moon and begin pouring across the surface of Athanasia and spreading out like a flood in every direction. The Night Vale Spectre again holds his hand out in front of himself, offering you the small void of a hole in his hand, saying, "Command us, and we shall destroy them." And at that moment, she feels her own fate thread being pulled out of her chest. And the two threads twist in opposite directions, and the two begin to unravel. And one thread reaches out toward the dark stone, and the other remains with her. Again, much like Ronnie, she feels the instinct to hold her breath, and she knows that if she lets it go, that there will be some kind of irrevocable exchange that occurs.
Can I insight check him?
Sure. Yeah, once.
I still want to. I don't know. Wow, I rolled a 3. I'm not even going to add my bonus to that. It's like an 8.
You are convinced that what he says is true. He believes what he's saying.
I'll tell them to destroy them.
You must take it.
Yeah, I'm going to take it, because, yep.
Okay. As you reach out, the thread that has emerged from your chest that is reaching toward the stone meets the black void in his hand before your hand can even touch it. And as that happens, the thread that was hovering close to your chest snaps, and that thread now fuses with the dark stone. The light stone dissolves into sand that suddenly evaporates and floats away. And as your fate thread begins to interweave itself with the void, you feel yourself pulled through space, beyond the shadow horde, beyond the falling moon, beyond the flood of Corvians invading Athanasia. And you feel yourself transported elsewhere, and echoing in your ears as you lose all awareness of your surroundings, you simply hear the Nightville specter. Followed by and we'll move on to Bran. You find yourself again moving through the mist, neither pulled. Well, I guess you're in front, so you're theoretically strapped to Rocky. But you don't sense Rocky underneath you. And as the fog rolls away from your vision, you're instantly returned to a cacophonous, chaotic scene where all of your companions are around you. The iris of the key has just closed, and you are all aboard the key and being shaken with thunderous boom after thunderous boom from outside. Your senses tell you that this is the moment when you all first escaped the caverns behind dig site 23, where you first obtained the key. And as soon as you did so, you were attacked by the Thunder Drake. You remember this moment because this was the moment, this was the battle where, because you stayed and fought, your animal companion died in one of the Thunder Drake's sonic booms. Quickly sort of recalling the situation, everything feels like you're experiencing it again. At first, you feel that maybe you've time traveled. You're not entirely sure what must have happened, but your mind adjusts. And you get the sense that within moments, the boom that is going to kill Fluffy is coming. The key is shaken. Your companions are scrambling to figure out what to do next. And you hear it. You feel the shockwave hitting the ship, rocking it to one side. And you know that you are moments away from Fluffy's death. When you hear again Kathy saying the words that she said as you entered the fog, which was, "Now we know what it might take." Time slows. Your fate thread pulls from your chest, the strands unraveling in different directions. Two threads circling around each other and now dividing. One pulling in the direction of the warped stone, which is within reach. And you gain the knowledge that if you were to activate it within this moment, you would reappear elsewhere in safety. However, you also remember that that is not how things proceeded. And the loop that hovers close to you is begging you not to make that choice. You know that if you allow yourself to exhale, a different choice will be made, potentially saving the life of your animal companion. What would you like to do?
I'm trying to remember, were we on the ship at this point?
Yes. Yeah, you guys had just warped out of the caverns behind dig site 23.
I will close my eyes and sit down.
Go ahead and make a I'm going to call this a wisdom saving throw.
Well, I have dice.
They're somewhere.
Super. I think some little goblin ran off with them. Ready. So that is a 13 plus EA 24.
Okay. You steel yourself, resolving to not make any different choices than the ones that have already happened. The fate thread that was reaching out toward the warpstone retracts. You start to feel the tension build in your chest. And very quickly, you sense that the shockwave of the Thunder Drake hits the ship, hits everyone inside. And even with your eyes closed, you sense the effects that suddenly become apparent. You hear the screams, you hear the squelch as your animal companion takes the brunt of the shockwave. And then you yourself also take the shockwave, and you are suddenly pushed in a direction that you didn't expect. Reorienting yourself to your surroundings, you realize you are no longer sitting on hard metal, but you're sitting on a hard, gravelly surface, rock. You hear very different noises. You're no longer inside of a metal canister. Instead, you're out in the open. You feel the ground pockmarked and full of holes. You hear your companions yelling, shouting in the usual sounds of combat. But you also hear the snarling growls of a dragon. You open your eyes.
Yes.
As you look around, you realize that you are yet further back in time. And suddenly, you recall once again with perfect clarity where and when you are. You're on the Pyrium fields, the ones that your people Boreans have mined so heavily since they were exposed at the Calamity. You recall this moment being the one where you and your companions were heading to the Pyrium Spire to communicate to the Seraphim the danger that the Corvians would be imposing on the world. The growl of the dragon, you recall, was that of Grignax, the brass dragon who accompanied you. And as you look to one side, you've opened your eyes exactly at the moment when your giant bat companion took a lethal blow and fell, seemingly unconscious, into one of the large pits left in the rocky surface of the Pyrian fields. And once again, the fate threads twist. The strands unravel, and one reaches out toward your giant bat companion. You again feel the urge to exhale and allow some irrevocable exchange occur. What do you do?
I close my eyes and sit down.
Okay, go ahead and make another wisdom saving throw.
26.
Nice. Resisting the possibilities that could be if you allowed your fate to be entwined with that of your, as you now know, forgetful former wife. You choose to do nothing. The tension builds once again, and this time you are pulled along through space, everything blurring around you as you're sucked once again through the fog and into another area. Rocky.
Good timing.
You do not find yourself anywhere you have ever been before. At least not in the scenario that you recall. For a moment, you think maybe you're remembering back hundreds of years, regaining some kind of memory from the mother lode that now lives inside of you, remembering something as Gor Kaiduad and not as Rocky. But very quickly, you're disabused of that notion as you realize that the situation is very different than it was 400 years ago. You're aboard the Key. You know through some kind of internal unexplainable logic that the power of the sun below, the core of the planet, is being channeled through some kind of chemoelectrical soup, a weather phenomenon that connects the Key to the sun below. And through it, the radiation from the sun below is powering not only the Key, but also the World Breaker, the Pyrium Spire that has now been repowered and animated into its full use as an instrument to resist the falling of the moon. Nearby, you know the Time Wizard, the Seraph Time Wizard, is helping you. And he again says what you recall him saying as you entered the fog. If I had it in front of me, that would be cool. He says, "Please, do not use this power. It will mean the doom of the world below." You're standing in front of the controls. You have the ability to activate the World Breaker if you choose. You know through the internal logic that you're experiencing at this moment that if you trigger the World Breaker, it will unleash the full force of the sun below's radiation and obliterate the moon.
Can I tell if this is real or not?
Main insight check.
Not bad. 15. Let's see, insight. Yeah, 15.
You are confronted with a terrifying reality, and that is that all of this is real, and that it is happening in this moment.
So I have the choice to try and save the world above, and if I do that, I'll destroy the world below.
That is what the Time Wizard is suggesting, yes.
All right. I'll turn to him and I'll say, what other options do I have?
And as you say those words, you see emerging as arcane holograms 3 individuals that Gor Kaiduad knows very well. They are the stone spirits of nature, death, and light. The time spirits say to you, addressing you by your name, Gor Kaiduad, we may be of some help. The light spirit steps forward and says, I am not the only one that you may draw upon. Our brothers may also help you in this moment. The nature spirit steps forward and says, if you call upon me, I can draw upon the life force of every animal in the world below. Their sacrifice will mean the life of all those in the world above. They are willing to make it. Be it as you command. And then, I'm sorry, that was supposed to be the Death Stone. That was the Death Stone. The Nature Stone steps forward.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. The Nature Stone steps forward and he says, I also can help you in this moment. I can give you the essence of all plant life in the world below. And if you command it, they will save the world above.
Yeah, let's go with option B. That sounds way better.
Okay. So,
Hey, guys, call me Rocky. That's what
awesome. So as you experience this exchange, you now notice that a golden glow begins to emerge from your chest, and your fate thread begins to be pulled out and spin in opposite directions and unravel itself, and you feel both of them, neither resting close to you, but both of them reaching out, one toward the nature stone and the other toward the death stone. You get the sense that you could choose either of them, or you could choose neither.
Well, crap, that can't be good. I'll try and pull it back in.
As you reach out and you attempt to grasp the threads, you realize that you physically cannot affect them. They're manifestations that pass through solid matter.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're gonna go with the nature guy, because, I mean, death. That just doesn't sound good at all.
Okay, so to clarify, you want the nature stone to draw life essence from all of the plant life in the world below.
Yes.
Okay. You allow your will to travel along the thread that points toward the nature stone.
Yes.
And as the thread reaches out, it binds with the nature stone. And it begins pulling away from you more and more quickly, and you feel yourself being drawn into the space where the nature stone's manifestation stands. And space begins to warp around you, and you begin to press into a dimension that you can't fathom. And then you pass back through the fog. Jareth, you hear the voice of Bran saying, "I swear on my dead relatives, I am your man forever." And for a moment, you feel pulled in a specific direction. But again, your character would have no way of knowing this. But unlike your companions, Jareth does not feel this pull coming from his chest. Instead, he feels it coming from his mandolin. And he feels drawn through space. And as he's presented with the scenario of his familiar molefolk companion being battered and bruised, tossed against a cliff face wall from the after effects of a botched tornado experiment, his body broken, he senses, Jareth does, that the threads of his own fate would be pulled easily in Bran's direction if it were not for the instrument he held in his hands. You, unlike your companions, have a choice. You can either allow yourself to continue to be pulled forward and out of the scene, or you can engage with Bran.
Do I think that I'm actually seeing Bran?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
$18.
All of your senses tell you that this is real and happening in this moment.
I take the mandolin off my back and look at it. What do I see?
You see solid lines of golden thread emerging from your chest, bound to the mandolin, and then extending from the mandolin off into the distance, where you now, as you peer as you follow the threads, you realize endlessly in one direction, pulled very tightly, as if something is drawing them in a certain direction. And as you peer further, you realize that eventually the scene does dissolve back to the fog from whence you came.
Okay, so I wasn't here for the initial setup.
Yes.
We bound ourselves together and we went in the fog. And then all this stuff started happening, right?
Yes. Each of you
Okay.
had distinct experiences while in the fog. Yes.
Okay, but are we still bound together? Do I still have a rope around me?
You still have a rope around you. And the rope does go off in one direction and ends in the fog, and off in another direction and ends in the fog, but there's no sign of your companions.
Does the fate line point toward Bran?
It does not. It's sort of off to one side, adjacent to, but not toward him specifically.
Okay. Given Jarrett's past experience with ley lines, he's going to he's going to instinctively trust the thread, and
Okay.
he's going to follow. He's going to attempt to follow the thread.
Okay. So there will be no check because at this point, Jareth has 100% control over what's happening. So you watch Bran as he basically pleads for you to save his life, but you continue to allow yourself to be moved in the direction of the fate line.
Okay.
It seems to be a complementary force to your movement, meaning that the line never goes slack, but it also never intensifies.
Okay. And as I go, I don't know if this is going to help at all. I'm going to start actually playing a song.
Okay.
And I'm going to reach back into my past, and I'm going to remember a simple song and a tale of I believe he was a flautist who went to a town infested with rats.
Okay, good. I like it.
And I'm going to start singing the epic tale of this bard
Okay.
as I go. And I don't know if it's going to do anything or not.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to be playing as loudly as I can so the others can hear me.
Okay. Make a performance check.
And I'm going to use my inspiration dice. Oh, where are you? A 15.
Okay. As you pull out your pick and make one solid, decisive strum on the mandolin, your pick hits one of the other threads, one of the other pairs of strings on your mandolin, not your own. And immediately that thread begins to glow with a purple light. And you can now see the two trailing ends of that string from the mandolin going off into the fog in another direction, completely limp, not pulled tight at all, but just going off in a specific direction. No time has passed as you continue to strum, and as you pass over the next pair of strings, another of the strings begins to glow, this one with a pale green light, and that one trails off in another direction. The third pair of strings glows a bright pink and begins to trail off in a third direction. And finally, your own string is played. And as that one glows, it intensifies all of the others. And immediately, the surrounding fog is blown away along with the scene that is surrounding you. And the truth of the scenario reveals itself to you. You sense that you actually traveled between a real place to another real place, but you never moved, and there was no shift in time. Simply that there must have been two congruent realities at the same moment. And as the second congruent reality dissolves, you feel as if perhaps your thread is being pulled back into alignment with the weave of fate that you've become familiar with. And as the fog reveals the scene, you see in front of you an open, swampy marshland, identical to the one that you came from, with only one exception, that there is now a thick bank of cattails in front of you. And you see one by one your companions also pulled out of the fog and into the present moment. And the thing that is pulling them is the same thing that is pulling your fate thread. And you see that they all converge on a single point inside of the cattails. And then emerging from the thick stand of these reeds, the head of a black-haired, purple-skinned woman. She rises almost with a defiant elegance, and you see her neck just begin to emerge above the cattails. She looks at you, and she sneers. And you see one arm emerge from the cattails and begin to wrap around the converging fate lines of yourself and your companions. And as the arm touches each pair of strands, it begins to trigger harmonic notes. And on the last note, you see that all of them are now brightly illuminated, including yours. And this woman's head begins to emerge yet further on an impossibly long neck that appears to be as thick as a grown woman's waist. And as this head and neck begin to emerge, you see that the black hair, glossy and braided, wraps around this neck 4 or 5 times before falling now 5-6 feet below the head, finally the shoulders of the woman as she stands up and extends her arms and says, there we go.
You think you can simply walk into my domain with no obstruction, with no permission? You think that you deserve the power of the strange magics? Benefit from the oaths sworn between the strangers and the spirits of Athanasia? How dare you, mortals wielding the power of gods, you selfish, ignorant, simple, feckless breed? How dare you think yourself better than the eldritch powers that govern your lives? Spirit stones, power gems, call them what you will, they are shards of your own reality, fragments of magic that you do not deserve nor understand. And you shall not have mine without a fight.
Roll initiative. Oh, everybody. Yeah, you've all emerged into the same space. I will also say, as an element of description, as you hear this woman speaking, it is as if you hear an entire choir saying the exact same words of varying levels. You hear very male bass voices, you hear high sopranos, everything in between, and they're all speaking identical words, and all of them are speaking from this woman's mouth.
Do we want to
Yes.
take our
Yes, we do. And in the meantime, I'm actually going to send you guys a picture of this woman. I did a thing, so I hope you like it. This is the visitor of the voice.
Oh my.
That's awesome.
Well, I wasn't gonna have nightmares tonight.
That's so cool. I love her.
I like the hair detail there.
Yes. So, there is also one other detail because it's fun. Oh no, I'll come back to that when you guys roll initiative. Yeah, we'll keep track of your initiative. We'll come back to that in a moment. We'll take a break for 5 minutes. Okay, so you have 4 frogs.
Look at that.
There they are. That's the
Frog
frogs
stares
in
and is like, "Hey, you found me."
Sproing, 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 sproing.
Yeah, and there's Finney, who is really big compared to what his actual size is. He's small enough to fit on your shoulder, but there you go. All right, so she rolled that. All right, I'll go ahead and collect initiatives while we've got you guys. So 25 to 20.
24.
Ooh, Ronnie's up top.
Thank
Nice.
goodness someone is.
20 to 10, 15. Okay, 15 to, well, I guess that means it would be her, so she's 15. Visitor of the Voice, 15.
I got a 12.
Bran got 12.
Heroes at 11.
Hero has initiative of 11. Dave said he rolled a 4, so that would be Rocky 4, and then Jareth on the 3. All right, I think that's everybody. So are we recording again, Chelsea?
We are live. We are live.
We are live. Okay. So we're back into our battle with Visitor of the Voice. She will, as she is reaching out and grasping all of your fate threads, Jareth's, of course, going back to his mandolin and not to his chest. She reaches out her will along all of these strands, and there is a pulse, a golden pulse that originates from her, and you see that she's actually holding something in her other hand, and this pulse originates from there, passes through her arm, through the other arm, and along these fate strands. And all of you will need to make a series of saving throws. Because this happens immediately because you guys are within the area. Okay. There's that. Great. Yes, good. Okay, so. Oh, I'll also post what she said because that's a thing. And yes. Okay. So it will be a 2 charisma saving throws and 1 wisdom saving throw.
Right.
One, actually, just do 2 charisma saving throws first.
God.
Well, that's a nat 1, and I'm
Hey,
done.
me too.
Actually, that's a nat 1 with a -2 modifier. So.
Oh man!
I got one nat 1 and like a 13.
Okay, let's
Do I
resolve.
need to roll the second one?
Let's resolve the first check first. That way, I don't have to worry about explaining multiple times. So, who all rolled a 16 or lower on their first roll? I see everything. Rocky!
Look at Rocky, you.
Wow!
19.
Yeah.
Nice. Jareth, you see and feel the pulse reaching out toward you, but it immediately stops at your mandolin, as if somehow the magic binding you to your mandolin is protecting you from any of these effects. So you automatically succeed. The rest of you, Ronnie and Hero and Bran, feel the thread that is still tied to your chest begin to fray around the edges. Several of the strands kind of begin to snap and spread as if it's starting to thin out. You are cursed, and while cursed, you take a minus D4 to all of your attacks and saving throws, which is why I wanted that one to resolve first, because then you make your second charisma saving throw.
11.
Do you want the frogs to do that too? Or can we just assume that they
No, the frogs don't have fate threads.
Good enough.
Don't be ridiculous.
So Jay, I rolled a 5, but I'm going to use Indomitable to re-roll.
Do it. Remember that'll be. Oh, and you are not at a minus 1d4. Okay, great.
And I have to use whatever this one is. Natural 20.
Yes! Rocky for the win! Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ronnie, how'd you do?
Oh, I got a 4.
Okay, so not good. Chelsea
11.
and Bran.
3.
Okay, so the three of you experience the secondary effects of this pulse, which is that if you are, and this is why I was asking about your alignments, because this visitor is true neutral, which means that if you are lawful good, lawful evil, or chaotic evil, you are deafened. Are any of you any of those alignments? It's the extremes of the alignment box.
Chaotic good. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just
so
lawful.
Bran is just lawful. You're lawful neutral?
Yeah.
Okay, so the two of you, Ronnie and Hero, are deafened while you are cursed.
And sorry, Jake, was the curse -4 or -1d4?
1d4.
Okay.
So it's basically Bane. Okay, that thing happened. Great. The other stuff happens later. Awesome. Okay. So that being said, we'll now go down to initiative. While she is holding your fate threads, it feels like a raw nerve, and you have this sensation of like somehow she's inviting herself into your most private internal self, which feels itself just touching your own fate thread feels like a violation. With that sensation, Ronnie, what do you do?
Which one is me, please?
You are here,
Okay.
and she is here.
Okay. I am going. Excuse me.
Did we not need to make a wisdom saving throw too?
Not yet. I corrected myself.
Okay.
Dave,
That's for later.
Sorry.
3 of us keep failing these.
Sorry. I'm going to cast a blood curse on her.
Do it!
My only blood curse of bloated agony. I'm going to amplify it. So I take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And it'll last for 1 minute. She can make at the end of her turn, she can make a Constitution saving throw to see if she gets rid of it. But for now, she painfully swells until the end of my next turn. Or, I'm sorry, she painfully swells for a minute, and she has disadvantage on strength and dexterity ability checks and suffers 1d8 necrotic damage if she makes more than 1 melee or ranged attack. So.
Okay. Remind me of those things when they become relevant.
I will try.
Thank you. All right. And are you going to move?
Yeah. So that's a bonus action. So I'm gonna shoot an arrow at her, I guess.
Okay.
Go back to that. Oh, and it's -1d4. Does 12 hit her?
A 12 will not hit her.
All right, then I am done.
And what you discover as you fire this arrow at her is that it's not like she has the ability to shrug off the attack because of some kind of armor she's wearing. What actually happens cinematically is that as you fire the arrow, she actually pulls on your fate thread, and the arrow curves in the air as if she is slightly adjusting your aim retroactively.
Okay.
So that happened, and then the visitor of the voice, she looks across all of you and speaks aloud once again. And she says actually, this is at the end of Ronnie's turn. That's right, at the end of Ronnie's turn. She uses one of her legendary actions to look at Rocky, because he so far has shrugged off everything that she's tried to do. And she then says,
You shall go no further.
and go ahead and make a charisma saving throw, Dave.
19.
Okay. You feel your fate thread beginning to knot in the weave around you. A sort of a plane of sort of golden woven threads appears in the air about the on level with your chest, and it spreads out in all directions. But as you physically push through that knot, everything unravels, and you find yourself free to move, contrary to her hopes.
No.
Okay, then she takes her turn, and she will use her ability to channel a ranged attack through the fate threads. And she will do so by using this ability. Again, the object in her other hand pulses. You see the energy travel along one arm and back into the one holding the fate threads. And she uses 2 fingers to pluck at 2 of these fate threads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. Hero, and Ronnie. Ronnie, does a 21 hit you?
Yes.
And Hero, does a 17 hit you?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. So as this pulse, again, this blinding white light that travels directly along your fate thread, Ronnie will now strike you straight into the chest, and you will take 9 points of piercing damage. And Hero, as you watch this speeding off in Ronnie's direction, Ronnie, your blood oath triggers, I think, because she made 2 ranged attacks.
Yes.
Go ahead and describe what that does.
It's 1d8 necrotic damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
4.
She takes she takes 4 necrotic. And we'll say that cinematically is what caused her aim, not her aim, let's say, but the intensity of the pulse she sent out toward you, Hero, sort of dissipated before it could reach you, and it deals no damage.
Ronnie saved me.
Yeah.
Nah. That's her action. She does not have a bonus. Or does she have a bonus? Does she have a bonus? Let's see. Let's see what it is. Is that a bonus? It is not. It's an action. How about this one? Ooh, yes, that's nice. Okay. She will, as she sort of sees the effect of your blood curse and sort of sneers at you, she raises herself to her full height, now rising another couple of feet out of the reeds, standing and again reaching in your direction with all the fate threads surrounding her arm and hand. And she reaches down and begins to straighten her neck to as high as she can. And as she opens her eyes again, they flash with this bright golden light. And now all of the cattails surrounding her are suddenly filled with the exact same light as the fate threads. And you get this sense that you're not looking at cattails, you're looking at people. Grand's turn.
Sure. Quick question. Are there plants and or shrubbery that you allow me to use to make a large tree? Or a huge
Well, considering that your sphere ability literally allows you to create something of the appropriate size and consistency, I'll say, sure, of course.
Okay.
I'll say
To
there's
be completely honest, I mean, it's a cool little world, and I'm going to be a dick about it. So I feel like it needs to make sense.
there is a stump here that you could regrow a tree off of if you felt like it. How long of a reach do you have?
That's a fantastic question. I want to say they have 15 at this level. Huge is 15, yeah.
Okay. So if your reach is 15, then 5, 10, 15. I'll say that this small tree could be enlarged into a big tree and it would have enough reach to reach her.
Well, fantasticness. Let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
So that happens.
And are my frogs within 30 feet?
We got 5, 10, 15. Sure, yeah, that one, 5, 10, 15, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Sure.
Let's do the first 3 then, and that gives me a 20, a 19, and a 9 on attacks.
All right. Reduced by a d4.
Oh, they too?
Well, they don't have fate thread, so they're automatically affected. There's no save.
Okay. Let's just assume -4, so that's 16, 15. Do either of those hit?
Nope.
16 and 15? Okay. They both missed them.
Did
They
they
all
physically
move
move up to her before they attacked? Was that a melee thing or a...
Yeah, they would. All 3 of those are moved up, and then
Okay.
that last one will move as far as he can then.
Excuse me.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, 30 is chilling out on the stump. Actually, those are all, you know what? They're frogs, though. They're adapted to this. I was going to say it's difficult terrain all around, but
Yeah,
they're frogs.
they're in
So,
the
that's
area right there. All right, so I will need to make the tree. It does 3 branches, so 3 attacks. And let me roll a d4 to see what this is actually coming down to then. -3. So that is a 24, a 25, and a 12 on attacks.
Oh my gosh, this freaking tree thing. Okay, 24 and 25 will hit.
Those are 2d12 plus 5 on each. That is 15 and 7. And I am done, sir.
3, 15, and 7.
Yes. 22.
20, 26 with the 4.
Okay, sorry.
I'm going to get a paper towel.
48.
How many hit points does your tree have? Because I want to kill it.
All right, I'll figure that out. Honestly, I wanted to make that as streamlined as possible, so I got all my attacks out of the way.
Yeah. All right, so she's got 26 damage, including the 4. All right, is that it for you?
It is. It is equal to 10 plus my ability modifier. So it has an AC of 16 and it has 39 hit points.
Sounds doable. All right, Hero, you're up.
Is that me to the south of Rocky?
That's you.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's difficult terrain, so I want to move past Jareth. I think that's Jareth. Towards her,
That's Jareth.
along that little bridge. So I have 30 feet normally. No, I mean no, to the left. Past
Along
Jareth.
this little bridge?
Yeah. That.
5, 10, 15 will get you there.
Right. Man, those frogs are just in the way. I want to use my bonus action, elemental movement, to give myself 30 more feet of movement.
Okay.
And I'll just keep moving along that
5,
little...
10, 15.
Yeah. And I want to use... coming fresh out of that fog, do I have the light stone?
Excellent question. You look down at your hand. You do, in fact, have the light stone.
Thank goodness. Ronnie would have killed me. I'm going to use the light stone's ability to cast a glow on her.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe she needs to make a save. Hang on, let me see. No, it's a spell attack. So I will make that ranged spell attack. 24 to hit.
24 is her.
8 minus D4. 22 to hit.
Will not hit.
Really?
Correct.
Wow. Okay, well that's...
Yeah, again, she's bending fate. So you make your spell attack, and she pulls on your fate thread as it veers to the side.
Wow. Okay, well that's pretty much all I can do this turn then.
Okay. That was Hero Rocky.
Okay.
No.
I want to move up just straight towards her. As far as my 30 will get me.
That's
And
15
then,
now.
so how big are those frogs?
They're medium sized.
Okay. So I want to turn one of my arms into a javelin and chuck it at her head.
Yes. But make your attack roll.
Ooh, that's terrible. 15.
Will fail. Again, she doesn't even need to bend fate. It just goes straight past her.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, Chuck. Bloop. And Gareth.
Okay, I've got a question.
Yes.
Look at my protection sphere spells. They kind of, I don't know. Would you say that they, say if I cast like a protective ward,
Okay.
will my allies be affected by that ward as well? For instance, if I cast like barrier, it says that all movement through the ward is stopped. Does that affect my allies as well?
That was my understanding when I read it, but
Creature is pushed to one side of the barrier. If a creature would be surrounded on all sides, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. Yeah, I mean it doesn't specify that it selects only your allies or enemies, so it would be a physical barrier at that point. It does, however, say that if it would pass through a creature's space when it appears, the creature has the choice to be on one side or the other. So,
Right. I mean, that wasn't actually the particular. I don't know why I brought that one up. The one I was actually looking at was spell ward, because if that's the case, then it's going to affect everybody else in our party as well.
well, this is referencing Aegis, which it says ranged touch.
Well, spell ward can be Aegis or a ward.
You are correct. Yes, thank you for clarifying. Absolutely. So you create a ward that represses all magic within its area of effect. Make one spellcasting ability check against each magical effect item or summoned creature within the area. If your check exceeds the spell save DC or sphere DC of the magical effect item or caster who summoned the creature, the effect is suppressed. Time spent suppressed counts toward a magical effect's total duration. Casters. Okay, so you could theoretically cancel it out until it resumes its duration. I mean, I guess it's always ticking down the duration. So, okay.
Right, but that's also going to affect any other spells cast by allies as well.
Yeah,
Right?
that's how I'm reading this.
Boo. Okay, I'm not going to do that then.
It does say you can create a ward centered within range. You can always choose to reduce the height or radius below its maximum. So currently you're sitting at an 11th level 20 foot by 40 foot radius cylinder, but you can make it smaller if you want. So you can you can make it whatever size you choose, I guess.
Yeah, you can make it. Yeah, you can make it smaller if you want. Hang on, but the range is self, so I it's centered on me.
Okay. Yep. So it would ultimately pretty much only benefit you.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Hang on, sorry. Let me.
It presses all magic. Yeah, it's pretty specific. All magic.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of
like really what you're doing is you're creating an anti-magic zone.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay. Can you point at me real quick? That's me. Okay. I am going to move up behind Rocky, or actually to the side of Rocky there, so I still have line of sight onto Evil Chick. And I am going to cast Haste on Rocky.
Okay.
So double speed, +2 to AC, advantage on dex checks, and you get an additional use of one attack, a dodge, a dash, or disengage.
Sweet, thanks.
And I cast a spell, so I get to make one attack. That is a 14 with a crossbow.
Okay, your 14 with a crossbow will miss.
Okay. Let's see. I moved up, 10 feet? So I'm going to go ahead and then use the rest of my move to stand behind Rocky, and that'll be into my turn.
All right. Something you notice as you fire your crossbow, Jareth, is that your attack causes some kind of backlash, and the fate thread she has her hands on that would go to you, but instead is going to your mandolin. Your mandolin takes that backlash instead, and it fizzles before it can reach you. But you recognize that attacks from this close are, now that she's activated her sort of surrounding border, begins to essentially it begins to retaliate when you attack her.
Good enough.
Okay. There's a couple of other things I need to keep track of. I went the Chelsea route and I gave myself lots of things to think about. So just got that. There we go. All right. And then yes. Okay. At the end of your turn, Jareth, she'll use another legendary action. And she will throw 2 more pulses of light at you, and she's going to make these attacks with disadvantage because you have your mandolin. And then that plus. Does a 23 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. So as you're retreating behind Rocky, the fate threads sort of start to bend around your companions, and it's as if she's able to essentially like throw a curving bullet, so to speak, and it follows. And the first one strikes your mandolin and fizzles harmlessly, but the second one comes so close on the heels of the first that it actually penetrates the enchantment on your mandolin and flows straight into your chest. And she deals you 8 points of piercing damage. All right.
AJ,
Yes.
I forgot to remind you about the Constitution saving throw at the end of her turn.
Ah, thank you. What's the DC?
14.
Con save 14.
Yeah.
She fails.
Cool. So she just attacked Jareth
Yes, twice.
twice.
So she takes what?
So would that be 2d8? Or is it just one? Because it's so how it's worded is let's see. The creature suffers 1d8 necrotic damage if it makes more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn. So would that count because it's during its turn, or is that a legendary action?
Because it's a legendary action, it's not during its turn.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of the round, and then we're back up. Oh, no, because layer actions. Okay. Anything within 5 feet of her, because she's surrounded by the glowing reeds, will take damage with a dex save for half. So all your frogs, sir, go ahead and make dex saving throws.
Right. Dex is +1, so it's a 15, 11, 10.
All of them fail, and they will take a total of 13 points radiant damage as basically this field of electrical light courses between all of the cattails and fries anything within that radius.
Okay. Tree 2?
The tree would probably not be affected because it's outside of the water.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because the cattails are growing up out of the water.
Gotcha.
All right. I think that brings us back up to Ronnie. Your turn.
Remind me which one is me again.
This is you.
That's who I thought. Okay. And it's difficult terrain.
It is difficult terrain.
Okay. Now I'm going to use my full move. Well, I'm going to use my movement, so I guess it's just a 15 feet.
Okay.
And I make it. Next to, I think that's Jareth.
This?
Yeah. Can I make it like?
10, 15.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Is Rocky in front of me, or is he in front of Jareth?
Rocky's in front of Jareth. You have an empty space in front of you.
Okay. I'm gonna fire an arrow at her again.
Great.
Oh, and that's a D4 because I am. Okay.
Even including the minus 1d4?
Yeah, I rolled a 1 on that.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So your attack, you discover that her AC is in fact 24. At the moment that you're, what are you doing? Firing your bow?
Yes.
At the moment your arrow releases and you sense that it will hit, there is a complementary pulse from the cattails in front of her. And as if following in an exact line opposite your arrow, it then strikes you as if an arrow hit your shoulder, and you take 5 psychic damage. Go ahead and do your damage to her.
Oh, okay. I take 5, but I still do my damage to her. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So she is next to the frogs.
Yeah.
Are the frogs considered allies?
Sure.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yep.
32 points of damage. Oh, I'm sorry. 37 points of damage.
37 points of damage.
Yes.
And 37 plus 26 is 63.
Is it 37 plus 26?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
I think.
I'm terrible at mental math, but if I accidentally got it correct, then yay me. All right, Ronnie, anything else?
You are correct.
Okay.
Okay, and then for my bonus action, I am going to go ahead and release my punching dagger.
Okay.
And as I do so, I'm going to let it cut my finger.
Okay.
Okay. I have this thing and I'm going to use it, damn it.
Yes.
And I'm going to activate my Crimson Right on my punching dagger.
Yeah. Good.
So I've activated the Right of the Frozen, so it's cold damage.
Yeah, nice. The blood coats your dagger and immediately freezes as you gain this frosted pink sheen, and it is prepared to do cold damage. All right, anything else?
That is my turn.
At the end of your turn, she will use her final legendary action before her turn begins, and you see her momentarily release her grip, still wrapped around her arm, but not her hand on the fate threads, and she will reach into the air, grab what appears to be nothing, and then suddenly appearing as she pulls on it, another strand of the weave as she courses through the air, disappears for a moment, and then reappears here without provoking any attacks of opportunity. And then her turn begins, and she will say,
Balance the scales of justice.
you couldn't hear that. She said, balance the scales of justice. And okay. And you notice that there's this pulse that waves out around her, and it sort of fills the surrounding area, but you don't sense that anything specific has happened. She will then use her attack to make 3 attacks. She will place a hand on the tree, and she will reach back as if pulling something out of the tree and then immediately stab back into it 3 times with some invisible thing. And she will make... What's the AC on your tree?
16.
She successfully hits it 3 times. How many hit points does your tree have?
39.
That is exactly the amount of damage she dealt. So as you watch, as soon as your tree appeared and began thrashing about violently, she proceeded to essentially dismantle the enchantment, one punch at a time, and you see your tree basically rewinding in time until it shrinks back into the size of a shrub.
That was a legendary action.
Nope, that was her action.
Oh, okay. She made more than one attack.
Yes, she did.
She made 3. Do I get to roll 2d8?
Yes.
All right.
Is this the first time Allison's or Ronnie's used her blood maledict and it's like working out like every turn?
I think usually it just works like 1 round, or I forget. At 9 points of necrotic damage.
Actually, wasn't the curse, isn't the blood curse a thing that lasts only until the end of your next turn or something?
I amplified it so it lasts a minute.
Ooh, and you dealt how much damage?
9 total.
Plus the 63 is 72. Cool. All right. She takes the damage. It sucks. And she is going to... Is there a bonus action? No. Not... Well, actually, hang on. Yes. Okay. As she then feels for the second time this curse take effect, she reaches behind her with her hand and she pulls something up along her neck. And you see now, because of course her arm is shorter than her neck, you see this sort of warbling force follow up above her head and then back down like a shroud. And you see as this sort of warbling force passes down over her, her whole body then shimmers and goes invisible. And Bran, you're up.
Oh, she gets a con saving throw.
Yes. Fails.
Yeah.
Bran, you're up.
All right. I actually had to look this up. I look really pissed.
Yep.
I yell at her. I speak for the trees, for the trees have no tongues.
Ooh.
And I'm damning you. To tongue.
Okay.
Got some Lorax here going here.
Yeah.
Volcano on her.
Oh no!
Yeah, 15th level. Yay, new stuff.
What's the saving throw?
That is a dexterity saving throw of 19.
Dexterity saving throw of 19. One moment. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Even with, I'm not ashamed to tell you, even with her plus 11 to dexterity saving throws, all she got was a 16.
Oh, darn.
Okay, go ahead.
I really threw it in person because I'd have to borrow a lot of D6s.
Do your worst. Let's do this.
Okie dokie. That is 10d6 of fire damage.
Okay. Yep, that checks out.
Google gave me 39.
Oh man. Okay.
And call up lava. This lava bursts from a 10-foot wide hole in the ground. Can spout up to 100 feet high. Any creature in the area 10d6 hurled into the air and then tossed to the ground.
So you said 39 damage
Yes, and hurled into the air.
and hurled.
Movement does not provoke an opportunity damage, does not count towards creature normal movement. If the creature fails its saving throw, it suffers the full fire damage and also suffers falling damage based upon the height of the volcanic spray. 10d6 or less depending on how high the sprout can reach, and lands prone in a random square adjacent. In addition, volcano sprays lava, smoke, poison gas, whole bunch of crap.
Great. So the 39 brings her to 111.
Okay. And how high does she go up?
Well, I don't know. What's the ability say?
It says it can spout up to 100 feet in the air.
All right, Druid. Friggin' druids.
Pretty cool stuff.
Captain Planet over here.
Yeah.
He's cooler than Captain Planet.
I scoop for the trees have no tongues indeed.
His charisma's worse, but he's still.
Oh, come on, you kind of set me up for that one. I thought it was pretty cool.
Have you already used your inspiration die for today?
No, I actually haven't.
Bump your inspiration die. That was good.
Yay.
What is the thing? Volcano?
Volcano. It's one of the special ones at the end.
Okay. Oh, thank you for having access to advanced nature talents. How dare you be high enough level? It's not like I put you there. Okay. The radius of this cylinder. The radius of this cylinder is equal to 1/2 the volcano's height. How do you want to make this?
Remember, we're not that far away from it.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense then.
It says the lava bursts from a 10-foot wide hole in the ground centered within range and creates a spout of up to 100 feet high. The radius of the cylinder of lava. So it's a 10-foot wide hole, but the cylinder of lava that erupts from it, or in other words, it sprays lava around it up to 50 feet, basically.
All right. My frogs actually almost died. They got a couple of hit points left. How far away is... Actually, I think I'm the closest, aren't I? Who's closest?
She would have been here.
Yeah.
So 5, 10, 15. Maybe 20 if you wanted to chance Rocky.
20's good.
Okay. So that means that the max spout height would be 40 because it's twice the radius.
That makes sense.
Okay. So 40 is going to do a total of 4d6 falling damage when she comes back down again. So go ahead and do your 4d6 falling damage.
Okay. And when does the 2d6 per round deal?
All creatures within this area, including you, are heavily obscured and suffer 2d6 points of fire damage each round as lava cascades on them. I'm going to assume that happens on your next turn.
Next turn? Okay. Seriously? I got 4 1s.
Oh, no.
So 4 points of total damage.
It says it must be created on the ground and cannot be created in other places, such as in the second floor of a building. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, great. So you dealt a total of 4 more damage.
And I guess I can go ahead and... Oh, wait. If that happens on my next round, I guess my frogs live for another round?
Well, I mean, theoretically, were they not in the radius? Were they not able? They didn't take any damage.
They're not within the 10-foot radius, but they would be within the 20-foot.
Okay, so we'll say this spout goes up, and then it begins to rain down again. And
I guess they wouldn't be able to attack or anything anyways because she's up in the air. Okay.
I mean, all of this kind of happened simultaneously. So she would have fallen back down by the time they had another action. Well, yeah, I think you're right. Not right now.
Can I tell her
She's
to
up in
run?
the air and she's going to fall down at the end of the turn. So, okay.
As my bonus, can I tell them to run?
Oh, hang on now.
Oh.
It says successful exercises has been creatures not tossed in the air instead of moving closest square adjacent to the guys or large are moved enough so that they are not on top of the guys but still adjacent to it. Okay. I think I'm understanding. Random square adjacent to the spout. Fair. Let's go like this. I have a die for these things. This way. Actually, she got off the map at this point. So she landed that direction. Great. All right. Anything else?
I was asking if I can ask the frogs to run as a bonus action.
To run?
Yeah, just flee.
Run away. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel bad for burning frogs. That just seems.
The frogs flee.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Frog's legs, they're a delicacy.
It's nasty.
Yeah. Anything else you want to do?
I'm all done.
Okay. The lava begins pouring out of this hole, and it pours in the direction of this tree stump, and it catches the tree bridge, the trunk bridge, on fire. This bush is incinerated. The surrounding water now begins to sort of bubble and boil and give up this huge gout of steam. The sort of water and plant life is just completely seared away. She is not happy. Cool. At the end of your turn, she's going to take a legendary action. She didn't like that.
Can you do that prone? Or in the air?
Well, theoretically, it doesn't say that there's any limitation. It just says at the end of another creature's turn.
Okay.
So she is going to... Oh, okay, hang on. What was the thing? Oh, I think that counts. Bran, this actually would already have been in place. That was the thing that she triggered that didn't seem to do anything. Go ahead and make a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
This is legitimate. I set this up in advance.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just. Why do I keep. Oh, he's in jail. Never mind. I was like, I had a D20. He's not. All right. That was a 3 minus 2 minus a D4.
Okay.
So whatever that is.
So the way I'm gonna read this to you, and I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna interpret it. And I think this is probably the best I can offer you. Before the end of the next round, the next time the target would deal damage, they must succeed on a charisma saving throw or deal that damage to themselves. So the effect.
Are you saying the next damage or the damage I just dealt?
The damage you just dealt, but it's not all of the damage you dealt. It's the next time it would deal damage. And the first thing that you did that dealt damage was 39.
Okay.
So I'm going to subtract
that next 2d6 I might deal to myself.
No. I'm saying that she triggered it prior to you taking your turn, which means that the 39 damage you just dealt was dealt to you instead. She takes all the rest of it, but you take 39.
So she still takes damage, but I also do?
She takes the remainder of the damage, not the initial 39.
So she takes 4 damage.
So she will take all the damage except for the initial dealing of the damage from the 39.
So 4.
Yes. And you will take the 39 instead. She's still thrown up in the air. She still takes the fall damage, and she'll still take damage from the lava on her next turn as the turns progress.
Okay. I'm guessing I'm not allowed to use any sort of bonuses?
Well, that all depends. What are you thinking of?
Like my inspiration and that thing I've been holding in my back pocket for like 2 months.
Oh, what thing have you been holding for 2 months?
I don't know. There was something about helping the DM move.
What was it that I told you? What was it that I told you?
Apparently, I gave you advantage, so you were returning the favor.
Okay, you can roll. You can roll your Christmas savings throw at advantage.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
All right. That is a 13 then. Plus,
Okay.
you said so. Inspiration is now a D8, right?
Because you bumped it. Yes.
All right. So that would be a 17. Still -2, minus a D4. I'm guessing I still failed.
The DC was 17.
Oh shit! I've been holding that for a really long time.
I gave you a shot, man. I was gonna let you have it.
That was
Okay.
really cool though, with the
That
whole speak of the
was
trees
really
thing. Come
cool,
on.
yeah. It was totally legitimate and above board. Like I decided what it was going to be, and then I didn't want to tell anybody because they would have ruined it. So 30.
All right, so I take 39 damage.
Yeah, so she's at 76 now, and you take 39. Oh man, that was a twist. That was very twisty. Okay, and again, the cinematic effect of all of this is that basically she unifies your fates for a moment, and the effect that you would have imposed upon her happens to you instead as a quote unquote balancing of the scales of justice.
Cool.
So that's the thing, and I think that brings us down to Hero. Go ahead.
The reeds where she was standing before, are they still? They were giving off like an effect before, right?
Yes, they are still glowing.
They're still glowing?
Yes.
Is she still invisible?
Make a perception check.
Is that my action?
No, but I will say roll at disadvantage because she is invisible.
2 + 5.
You cannot see her, especially considering the last time you saw her, she was what is now being filled with plumes of steam. So no, you can't see her.
Yeah, but who cares about lava? I can't do anything unless I either get up to her or I can see her. So I'm gonna cross to that island.
Okay. So this is a 5-foot jump. Just go roll an athletics check and make sure that you don't roll a 1.
I probably will. I rolled a 4 + 1.
5. Okay, so you fall in, but it takes 5 feet of your movement. So you go 5, 10, you climb back out, 15 will land you on the rock.
Cool. Bonus action, elemental movement, 15 more feet. Or
Okay.
30 more feet, but have the 15, I guess, because of the...
The rock right here actually isn't difficult terrain.
Oh.
So you go 5, 10, and then...
Is it lava right there? Like, would I jump straight into fire if I just...
It's lava. It's lava right here.
Okay. She's probably gonna vamp somewhere else. I'll hold here. I'm just going to try to make a ranged spell attack through the light stone because if I get up to her, I won't be able to do anything anyway because she'll just get away. So I'm gonna try and hit where I maybe saw her land, or no, I wouldn't know where she landed.
You wouldn't have seen her land. So basically, I'll just say you pick a square you think is right, and then you roll at disadvantage.
That's all I can do. And if I hit, this will be with the guiding light glow, which gives everybody advantage on her if it hits.
Okay.
For 10 minutes. Well, I rolled a natural 1, so.
Okay.
But you know what? If you'll let me, I'll use the rest of my movement to get to that other piece of land.
So the 30 feet of elemental movement is 5, 10, and then make an athletics check. Not athletics. Yeah, athletics to jump.
No, you know what? I'll stay here.
Okay.
I don't want to follow you. I'll stay here.
All right.
That's my turn.
Because you rolled an attack, you will sense that the attack is being reflected back at you in a metaphysical sense, just the same way that Ronnie's arrow was, and you take 5 points of psychic damage.
Yeah.
That was Hero's turn. Rocky.
Okay, so she moved. I was planning on chasing her, and then a volcano erupts, and I go, whoa. So I think Bigger.
She is invisible.
Oh, so I can't even see her.
Correct. You have no idea which space she is occupying.
Ah. I saw her before the volcano erupted.
You saw her when she shrouded herself invisible, which was when she was here. And then the volcano erupted, and you have no idea what happened next.
How long does haste last? Jareth, are you there?
1 minute of concentration. So yeah, you still got
All right, so
you still got this round and then another 5.
And if I move over to the volcano, I'm gonna take fire damage.
Theoretically.
All right, well, I'm just gonna charge across the burning log, I guess. So I have a full 30 feet
15,
because
20,
of haste.
30. All right. You get to the other end of the log?
What's that?
Yeah, so you get to the other end of the log.
And
Standing adjacent to the huge spout of lava.
yeah, that's not. Can I actually be not quite? Can I be 1 square back from there? Because Rocky thinks it might do him some good or something.
Yep.
And I can't see her. Can I perceive her somehow?
Perception check at disadvantage.
All right.
No action.
Well, that's gonna be terrible. 4.
Yeah, she's somewhere around here.
Guys, where did she go? And I don't know what else to do. So I guess that's it.
Okay. Jareth.
Can I ready an action for if she reappears?
Yes. Which action would you like to ready?
I would probably throw another javelin.
Okay. You ready a javelin throw when she reappears.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Did she disappear before or after the volcano?
Before.
Okay, I'm going to cast ward, barrier ward. I will make it. Let's see, how far away is it to the volcano?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25 will be the closest space of the volcano.
Okay, we'll make it, just to be on the safe side, I'll make it 20 feet radius. And let me pull it up so what the maximum height is. Come on.
Since she did get hit, wouldn't the molten slag be like stuck to her?
Centered on you?
Yeah, it's centered on me. I'm looking it up here. So it's we'll make it a 20 by 20 cylinder.
Okay.
So let's see. Mostly transparent, stops attacks, movement, breath weapons, and any spells or sphere effects set must travel to their destination from the outside.
Okay.
And it has an AC of 19. Must make a dex saving throw in order to hang on. Yeah, I'm just looking up how many hit points that has. Oh, I'm sorry. So its AC is 16, and it has 19 hit points.
Say that one more time. AC is 16.
Yeah, AC is 16. Hit points are 19.
Okay.
So you can. So in theory, she could make attacks against the barrier, and it would destroy it.
Okay.
And I guess that's my turn.
Okay. At the end of your turn, Jareth, she will use a legendary action. And let me look at this real quick. Okay. She is going to speak, which reveals her location, but does not allow her to be seen. And she is going to speak, and Rocky, you can feel your fate thread vibrating as she makes her declaration.
Exact your vengeance.
And you need to make a charisma saving throw.
What did she say?
Exact your vengeance.
All right. Charisma saving throw.
Reserve.
Does an 11 save?
Nope.
I'm going to use my last instance of Indomitable and re-roll that.
Nice.
12. Great. I rolled one better.
Oh, no. Okay.
Wait. I'm going to throw my inspiration at that because,
Yes!
because if I can roll a 6, I might save. I rolled a 1.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. What you notice, Rocky, is that suddenly coming from, again, some location, you see the fate threads of yourself and Hero intertwine and tangle.
Ooh.
And momentarily, they are now, the tension in your fate thread and her fate thread are now being pulled taut between the two of you. And the remainder of the lines go slack. You feel compelled to fight Hero tooth and nail the next time you have the opportunity to attack.
Okay.
That brings us back up to Ronnie.
Since her location was known when she spoke,
Yes.
would I get to throw my javelin at her?
So technically you said that when she appeared, but she didn't appear, but I'll allow it because sure, why not? It would still be an attack at disadvantage because you can't see her. So
Okay.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about it. You're no longer hasted. I had to drop concentration to bring up the ward.
That'd be an 18, so I assume that misses.
yes, it does.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, another thing that you notice is that you hear a splash.
I think I heard a splash.
That is all. Ronnie, back up to you.
I heard nothing because I'm deaf. I am going to hold my action. Actually, can I just hold my turn? I want to do many things.
Right. So the only thing that you can hold in 5th edition is an action, and you have to specify what that action is. I will allow you to act lower on the initiative count if you choose, but you would be permanently lowering your initiative at that point.
Okay, I will just hold an action then. I will wait for her to. If I see her, I will fire another arrow at her, I guess.
Okay. Sounds good. It is the end of Ronnie's turn. She will use her third legendary action, I believe third, to do that. Yes. 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay. Yep. Yep. Hero,
Yes.
2 pulses of golden light trail along your fate thread and into your chest. What is your AC, please?
18.
One of them will hit and deal right. 7 points of piercing damage and 1 radiant.
Okay. Ow.
And then it comes down to her turn. Because she made an attack, her position becomes obvious. She appears.
Oh,
And
wasn't Ronnie holding her turn to attack?
she was, which is why I'm mentioning it. So, Ronnie, you are within line of sight to her. Go ahead and make your attack. Oh, I should also say this. At the end of the round, because you were in the cattails hero, you'll need to take damage. Dexterity saving throw, please.
I used to be good at those. 18. Oh, wait. 17.
17. You take half of 35.
Oh, half of
So
35?
17
Wow.
points of radiant damage.
That sucks.
And then hero, go ahead and make your attack.
No, Ronnie.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Thank you.
I mean, I'll take one if you want to give it to me.
Take your attack here. No. Oh yeah. 18.
Will not hit, unfortunately. So that was your held action.
This is one tough broad.
Believe she used her legendary action. That caused her to become visible, which triggered your held action. Now it's her actual turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's going to continue moving. 5, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and she will sort of climb onto the edge of that rock. She'll sort of be up halfway, like her shoulders and neck will be above the rock, but the remainder of her body will sort of be in the water. And she's going to come up behind you, hero, and she's going to, as she moves this direction, your fate threads, everybody's fate threads sort of move along with her because they're all wrapped around her arm. And she's now going to actually pull that thread from you tight, and you'll notice that she whips it a little bit and it becomes a straight, thin, like needle, and she'll stab you with it.
That's mean.
And then this is that. Again, your AC is
18.
all 3 will hit. This is 36 points of piercing damage
Total or just the first one?
total.
Oh, thank goodness. That would have
As
sucked.
I mean, she's wielding your own fate thread as if it's just a needle that is infinitesimally sharp, and she begins to stab you through, and you feel it's like pulling on a loose thread on a sweater. You start to feel yourself becoming loose and unmade. She moved. She did her action,
Wish
and
I had
then
infernal reaction there, but I don't.
Bran, you're up.
There you go.
He gets
So I
a
guess-
con save.
Yeah, Kansei, thank you. Why? For mother of pearl, why? She fails.
Nice. So since nobody's in that area, no one takes the damage?
I presume that anybody who would be close enough is actually being protected, like Rocky's being protected by this thing, the barrier that Jareth put up. So I think
you'd
you'd actually
she's
be
taking 4 points of damage from this.
who would be taking the what?
She's taking 4 points of damage from this.
You are correct.
She does need to make a con save or be poisoned. So how about that?
Okay. Con save would be poisoned. Fudge muffins. Yes, the exact same number. She fails. She's poisoned.
1d6. Is that
She
reduced?
sucks at con saves.
Good to know.
This is what I'm hearing.
Well, she's rolling terribly, is what it is.
3 points of poison damage.
3 points of poison damage. She takes the poison damage.
My goodness. Super duper. You said she climbed out of the water?
She's halfway out of the water, yes. She is a
she's
large-sized creature, so
She's halfway out of the water.
correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna boil that water.
Ooh! Awesome.
Suck it.
Bran keeps coming out with these really awesome, awesome nature-based talents.
Also, now we're like in a town or some shit. I can do stuff.
Once we're in a town, Bran will be completely useless.
I'm just gonna sit on the sideline and be like, "You guys got this."
Kick up some dirt from the gravel. That's it.
Earthquake. No, Bran, no, not the earthquake. Oh, well, fine. Casualties, yes, I understand, whatever.
All right. 15 feet of boiling cube water and 3d8 fire damage. Yes.
Okay. Is there
Is
a
that
saving
reduced by
throw?
the d4 thing? What's reduced by d4?
Attacks
Your
and
attacks.
saves.
Oh, just attacks. Okay.
Yeah.
Hero. 1, 2, 3. It's not great, but all right. 13 points of fire damage.
Is there a save at all?
No, she's just there. He's in the boiling water.
Like nothing? Like no constitution save or anything?
I mean, you can read it, but I don't see any save mentioned. It's just you're a lobster.
What's the ability called?
Boil water.
Boil water. I see it. Okay. Let's
It's under
see.
macaroni.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Step 2.
You cause 20 creatures within each round. It seems weird to me that they just make it a thing that causes damage no matter what.
Yeah.
There's no save and no attack roll.
I mean, my guess is that it's like you don't know that it's hot until you know it's hot. Like whenever you're testing the water and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
haven't you ever seen Dante's Peak, where you stick the frog in the pot and,
Yeah.
jump up? If you
Well-
put it in the water and then boil it, it'll just sit there and die.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying in particular. I'm just thinking like a fireball literally fills the entirety of the space that it covers, and yet they still are allowed a dexterity saving throw. So I feel like there's got to be something similar, but
But this is
rules
water.
don't say there's any kind of saving throw. So, all right. How much damage?
It's 13 fire.
She will take 13 fire.
Wait. After all of that, we're gonna skip over the fact that this is fire damage.
It just says fire damage.
Well, if you want to be more specific, you could say that it's heat damage. Okay.
That's not what.
There's
All
so
right,
much
so-
wrong with this spell.
I'm now siding with Jay.
You said it was 13 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay. She's at 92. We got to have a talk about these abilities, man.
Hey, you wanted us to go back to
I
I was going
agree.
to say, you made the green
I
flag.
agree. I did want you to go back. You are correct. All right.
I mean, if she was out of the water, it would have been another pummel.
You're right. I dodged a bullet. Thank you, Druid. Anything else?
Can I do a quick observance of my comrades? Does anyone have
Sure.
like spleens or guts spilling out?
I probably look pretty bad.
Yeah, Hero's looking shabby. She's got several bleeding holes in her at this point.
Very nice. I think I'm done, but I might, if I have something as a bonus action, I might do that. But I don't think I do.
Okay.
You can go ahead.
She is noticing the power coming out of this very, very small package, and she doesn't like it. She's going to use one of her legendary actions on you.
What the shit?
She's going to say,
Those who see not need not eyes.
those who see not need not eyes, and you will need to make a strength saving throw, please.
Strength?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's not a negative, so there's that. That is a starting with a 2, and we will add 2.
Okay. As she,
We've had some shitty rolls tonight.
well, yeah, as she flicks a fate thread in your direction, you feel your eyes being stitched shut and then seal as if they never existed.
Okay, so you just made the mole person blind.
Yeah.
Cool. Is this actually a blind? Is this blinded, or is this something different?
I mean, because you don't have the ability to see through your eyelids, yes, right now you're blinded.
Well, I'm just curious as to how I can remedy this. For instance, can Restore, which cures blindness, fix this? Or is this something different?
That's an interesting question. Does Restore change your physical form?
No, but the Alteration Sphere would.
I will leave it to your discretion.
Oh, super duper then. Okay.
All right. So that was the end of Brand's turn. Hero.
Yeah, she's in melee with me.
Well, she's close enough to hit you, yes.
I would like
You
to.
want to get melee?
Actually, you know what? I don't need to do this.
Okay.
Because I'm going to use the light sphere or the light stone again, which means I can range, right?
Yes.
I'm going to try to put a glow on her, so ranged spell attack.
Do it.
And she's visible, so I don't have disadvantage.
Correct.
Probably gonna miss, but you know. Yeah, I missed. I'm not even gonna bother. Well, actually, yeah, even my inspiration can't help that. So, I missed. I'm going to get out of these reeds because they're gonna kill me.
Okay, where are you going?
Hang on. Oh, there's a map. Closest land would be towards the lava. Oh wait, is the water still boiling, or can I get over it?
Yes, it's still boiling.
Can I get over it safely, or?
Well, you make your athletics check. Let's see.
Oh, it's only a 15-foot, so if she's heading the other way, it's not affecting her.
Yeah, if you want to go that way, you don't have to worry about it.
No, I want to go.
Up toward the lava?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's fire, so it's not gonna hurt me as much. But I just want to go to the nearest land. So athletics check.
Yeah, just don't roll a 1.
17 plus 1. So.
You're right. So you use 10 feet of your movement to get over there.
I don't think I have a bonus that I can really do, so just in case there's a range on these things, I'm gonna go up onto the. Is the roots, are they on fire?
Yes.
They are.
I mean, they're practically charcoal at this point.
But are they actively on fire in that I would get
Like-
burned if I stood on them?
Everything around this area is currently
Okay.
overflowing with lava.
Okay.
My-
Well, I guess this is where I'm staying then.
Okay. What's you said, what was it, 15-foot range on that, Bran?
15 on what now?
On your volcano?
Oh, the volcano was the 20-foot radius.
Okay. So technically speaking, on your turn, I'm going to put you back here for one moment. This would have dealt damage to the wall that Mr. Jareth erected.
Okay.
So go ahead and do your 2d6 and we'll deduct it from the wall's hit points.
Six.
Okay, it's currently at 13 HP. And then for your forewarning, hero, walking this way will voluntarily put you into a radius of falling lava that will damage you on Bran's next turn.
It's fire damage.
Okay.
Is that resistance now gone too? It's
Oh man. Yes, that resistance is gone too.
I don't know that I'd know that though.
I mean, that's something that
There's a lot
she
of
would
things
have to
that Hero
figure out.
doesn't know right in this moment because she's both deaf and also this is the first time she's been not had these things. So I just leave me there. I mean,
Okay. All right. We'll find out what happens. That was the end of Hero's turn. Rocky.
So Hero just came up next to me, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, she did. And she didn't do any of that.
And Rocky's under some mesma.
Well, currently the lava is attempting to fall on top of you, but the shield is doing a great job of preventing it from doing so. However, it's also preventing you from moving anywhere outside of the shield.
No, there was something she did to me last time that you said me and Hero.
Yes. So you must this turn attack Hero.
Rocky's probably about to feel real guilty.
I'm sorry.
What happened?
3 attacks against Hero with my maul hand.
Okay, to clarify, because you're on the inside of this wall, you're going to have to bust through the wall first. So I'm just going to say it's a wall and it's blocking your path. Just do damage on your first attack and see if you bust through the wall.
19 to hit.
I mean, you don't need to hit. It's a wall.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I wasn't expecting to do damage quite that quickly. 2d6. Where's my d6s?
For my
So that is 10 plus 5 is 15 points of damage.
It shatters.
Okay.
Jareth, just curious, is this a column or is this a dome?
It's a column.
Okay. So basically, the wall that stands between you and Hero falls down in front of you, and then for cinematic purposes, I'll say it begins to crumble around either side until it's completely fallen. The magic dissipates.
It's magic, so.
Yeah. So that's gone. Now you have 2 remaining attacks. Go ahead and make them against Hero, please.
13 and 14. Ooh, I rolled really low.
Miss.
I rolled low.
Wow.
Thank goodness.
Okay, because you have made an attack, Rocky, on each of those. Let me see. Hang on. Let me double check.
I rolled a 3 and a 4 on those.
That's
Okay.
very lucky.
Metaphysical manifestations of your 2 punches strike back at you, dealing a total of 10 psychic damage.
Okay. Okay.
I do give Rocky this look that's just like, what are you doing?
I'm punching you.
Why?
She told me to.
Now is not the time for another spar. Come on, man. All right, is that it for you?
Yeah, unless you're gonna make me like go completely rage monster on her, like use all my special stuff, then that's it.
Okay.
Suck. Action surge. Action surge.
At the end of your turn, Rocky, she is going to turn in Jareth's direction and use a legendary action to say,
Your failure is already inevitable.
go ahead and make a. Oh no, this is no save. It's just your next D20 roll is at disadvantage, and your fate thread attempts to become entangled. And I'll say because of your mandolin, it protects you from things that you would be doing that are part of you, like if you were attacking with a sword or whatever. If you were using your mandolin as part of some component, it would apply. So if you're, for example, casting a spell using music.
Okay. Alrighty. But it wouldn't matter if I'm casting a spell that doesn't require an attack, right?
Well, let's just. Well, what do you got? And we'll see.
I'm going to cast Alter Time on her.
Oh.
And I have no idea if this is going to work. Probably won't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. Alter Time. I'm going to age her back to a child. Yeah.
Okay.
All this does is make her creepier.
Okay. Alter.
Say wisdom saving throw to negate.
I need to see how this is worded because it matters.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. Page 194. Because it's literally what I just said. Oh, wait, no, it's a con save. Sorry, it's different than the main effect.
You said alter time?
Alter time, or it's that's the base talent. The specific talent I'm using is called age.
Okay, great, cool. Adjust age. A successful Constitution saving throw negates it. If transforming a target into a child, its size is reduced by 1 step, and it suffers a D4 penalty on all weapon damage rolls. Gains disadvantage on da-da-da-da. Okay, cool. You touch a creature object and adjust its age, either forward or backward.
I have to touch it?
Yeah.
Oh, they changed. Yeah, they move all this. It's all over the place. Screw it. I'm going to run up and touch it.
Okay, I touch the darkness. So window 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If you
I'll
can
use
make
my cat, like feline ability, whatever that was called, to double move.
great. Make your athletics check to avoid falling in the water.
I'm sorry, my headset cut out. What was that?
Athletics check to avoid falling in the water.
Oh. Um, 19.
Okay. You successfully get there. That's 30, 35, 40, 45. Nope, there's no, that's fine. You get there. Great. You approach her. You touch her, I guess, because there's a saving throw on the back end, so it doesn't have to require an attack roll, I guess.
Yep.
Let's see. Creatures put them in a wisdom saving throw to negate the ability if they or their.
Well, it's not a wisdom for the specific thing.
Well, the base description says they're permitted a wisdom saving throw to negate the ability, and then you choose from the following effects. And the effect that you chose it also requires a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Because the touch is automatic. It's one of those things. Like the volcano is a weird thing, or no, the boiling water is a weird thing because it doesn't require any saving throws. The idea of touching a creature automatically is fine so long as there's some measurement of failure. So it has to be something.
No, what I was just saying is that the Constitution saving throw replaces the Wisdom saving throw because it's specified.
Okay, I'll bite.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of issues with this book.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so con save
16.
Okay. You touch her, and your magic induces her to revert physically through time as far back as you can, intending to turn her into a child. What happens is as follows. Time reverts. You sense that it's working. Her apparent appearance does not alter. What you discover from this is that either she succeeded on her saving throw, or she is a creature who has no child form.
I suspected that.
She is immortally in this form.
Can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
So you learned a thing. That's a thing.
Okay.
All right. You've moved. You've done your spell.
Bonus action to make an attack.
Great.
I will use my. What is it? Was that the Moon Touched Rapier? That's an 18.
We'll miss.
Ew. Okay, I'm done.
And then as you stab at her with your rapier, a metaphysical manifestation of your rapier stabs back at you, dealing you 5 points of psychic damage.
Okay. I had disadvantage on that, but it doesn't matter. I didn't hit anyway.
But because you have your mandolin, it's deflected. So you don't take the 5 psychic damage.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's Jareth, bottom of the round. You find yourself inside the reeds. You take. Dexterity saving throw for half.
What's that? 15.
Will fail. You take 39 points of radiant damage. Ronnie, you're up.
How far away is she from me?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Boom. Okay. I am. Drunk, am I?
No.
No. I am going to use my warp stone. I'm going to use quick teleport and augment it so I can use that as my movement. I'm going to teleport my ass up to this bitch.
5,
And then
10, 15, 20, 25.
Yeah. Then I'm going to attack her with my short sword. Oh, boo. I'm going to, no, that wouldn't make any difference. That's 14.
14 will not hit.
All right. I'm going to use my bonus action to attack her with my punching dagger.
Yes! Plus cold damage plus sneak attack.
I rolled a 5.
Oh, no!
So, 14. I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay. Cool.
16.
Not enough, unfortunately.
Poopy.
Okay. Right. Okay. And because you attacked a metaphysical manifestation of your, we'll say, the Assassin's Blade deals you 5 psychic. End of Ronnie's turn. That was cool, though,
Yes.
getting right up into melee with her. Visitor the Voice. She says,
Evil fate, grant me mercy.
and she
said that
then,
to me?
yeah, weave of fate, grant me mercy. And so,
I hear you.
well, it doesn't matter whether you can hear her or not. That's what she says in order to activate the ability. For 1 hour, the target cannot kill with melee attacks and must knock out instead. And we'll get to the second part later.
I can't
So,
kill with melee.
Correct. You have to knock. If you make a melee attack, you have to knock them unconscious instead of killing them. But this flows through your fate thread, and so you see it pulse, and you know that something happened. So it's not like Ronnie is ignorant of the fact. Then on her turn, she is.
So like
going,
I just know something happened, or
yeah, like there is this.
I know that my
Yeah,
attacks won't do anything.
right. There's that there's this metaphysical influence that is like protecting her, essentially, from you specifically.
Okay.
All right. So that's that. And then she is going to say on her turn to you, Jareth,
You've chosen your fate.
and you will. I'm going to give you a saving throw against this. Normally it's not allowed, but you have the mandolin, so I'm letting it happen.
What's the saving throw?
Charisma.
$21.
The fate thread flashes. The mandolin, like, reverberates, and nothing happens. She hisses, and then she's going to attack you with your own fate thread. She's going to pull it out just like she did to Hero, flick it once, and it becomes a thin needle, and she's going to stab you with it. Okay. That's a natural 20. And what's your AC?
14.
She will hit you with another one as well. Piercing. Ooh. She stabs you in the foot, and you are knocked prone. And then she will deal a total of that. Nope. That plus that. So that's 28 points of piercing damage.
How many additional attacks was that?
She attacked 3 times total.
Okay. Ooh. She takes 14 points of necrotic damage.
Nice. $14 plus 92 is 106.
Jareth is not looking so hot.
And that brings it to the bottom of her turn, which means that she actually is she going to move out of melee? Whoa! She'll move this way. Nope, that's out of
Attack of
melee.
opportunity.
What's the thing?
No.
When she, because she doesn't want to move out of melee with you, she would still technically draw attack of opportunity from Jareth, even though he's prone. Although I think, don't you get a disadvantage on that, Jareth, since you're prone?
I would think so.
I'll call it disadvantage. Go ahead and make your attack of opportunity.
No, yeah. If I'm making a melee attack prone, it's a disadvantage. Wow. Yeah. No, I don't hit her.
So she repositions, and in fact, she'll move like here so that she can still reach you, Ronnie. In fact, she doesn't but reach. She's going to move here.
Just so you know, we can't see past Ronnie on the map.
Oh, okay. So she is there, just off the map. Okay.
So do I get an attack for blah 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 blah?
Oh, you
Attack
would.
of-
She will not move out of your range then.
Okay.
So yeah, that's fine. Because she sees you. She sees you. That's into her turn. Bran.
I can't really tell where she's actually standing. It looks like it's water.
Yeah, she's standing in water.
Okay.
How
Is it
big
hot
was
water?
your cube of water?
Is she in hot water still?
She would have moved out of the hot water.
That was a 15-foot radius. Or wait,
Radius?
sorry, 15-foot cube. There we go.
Okay,
So-
15-foot cube.
No longer within that?
It probably would have filled in these three squares like that.
Okay. All right.
So
that
yeah,
works then.
she moved out of it.
Okie dokie. And you said either the alteration or the restore would fix my little eyeballs?
You're welcome to try whichever you think is going to be the most effective. What you know is that your eyelids now do not have any way to open.
I could just go with something that doesn't have eyelids. I will use my snazzy little protection stone thingy. Yeah. Gotta think about how far away she is.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35?
Okie dokie. That works then. Cool. Okay. I will go ahead and turn myself into a huge water elemental using the alteration stone.
Awesome. I actually have one of those.
Oh, fun.
Not huge, but large. We'll go with it. This is my water elemental that I have. It's technically labeled as an astral giant, but it's blue and it's transparent, so it's water. You become a water elemental. There you are.
Super. Right. And I will move into her occupied space and use my whelm.
What's your movement?
That is 70 feet.
Oh my gosh. 5, 10, 15, 20. And at that point, I'll say you're moving through water. So 25, 30, 35, 40. That's enough. You're occupying a space with her, but for convenience, we'll put you there. And you use your whelm ability, which does what?
It makes me into a vortex. Strength DC 19.
Fudge! She will use her once per day legendary resistance to automatically succeed.
Okie dokie.
I don't know if she
Um,
had any of those.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I knew Bran had tricks.
oh yeah.
You used a few tonight already.
Uh-huh.
Really good.
That appears to be nothing then. Okay. I'm just chilling there.
Great. You're whelming. Not overwhelming or underwhelming, just whelming.
Just whelmed. I think
All right,
you
Bran. That's the end of Bran's turn. She will use a legendary action.
I'm assuming that I was able to see once I did that.
I mean, because you transformed, yes, that's fine.
Okie dokie then.
Um, she is going to say to you, Bran,
You forfeit your potential.
and for 1 minute, she will increase the damage she deals to you by 1d6.
Fine.
Your checks with, we're going to say wisdom, are at a disadvantage.
Oh.
And her checks for using wisdom to find you are at advantage. As
She hates you.
cinematically, your fate thread begins to unravel.
Ooh.
All right, that's the end of Bran's turn. Hero.
There's a big water elemental right there.
In the same space as the visitor, yes.
Is it the same size as her, or is it bigger?
Oh, I'm bigger.
Technically, it's huge. So it's one size category larger. Bran is taking up 9 squares, whereas she's only taking up 4.
So in other words, no one can get to her without going through him.
Yes.
I keep fucking this up.
Oh, wait, man, you're the one coming in with all the big area of effect stuff.
I would probably have to make some saves if I tried to get in there.
Yeah. But you got ranged attacks, right?
Oh yeah, but all shit that's been doing me.
Wait, can't I drop it whenever I want?
Don't.
Can't concentration be dropped at any point?
Do what Brand would do. I'm just trying to problem solve.
Just as a rule, though, can't concentration be dropped at any point? Or is that only...
It depends. It depends. I'll look up water elemental.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think it doesn't look like there's any land I can really stand on anyway next to her, right? Even if I were to try and get in within melee, she's pretty much in the water.
Oh, here's a thing. If you're using the base water elemental from D&D Beyond, you're saying if the saving throw is successful, which it was, the target is pushed out of the elemental space.
No,
So-
it's its own thing in the spheres.
Oh, it's a spheres thing. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm not going to look at that because that will just confuse me.
Different.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm gonna stay where I am, so that I can help Bran if he needs it. But I'm gonna just shoot another glow effect at her, I guess.
Do it!
Miss.
Ouch.
18.
All right. Hero's turn, down to Rocky.
Actually, can I use my inspiration to add on to that, or try to?
Yes!
There's one number if I...
Yeah, 10.
6! 24!
Yes! You hit!
Nope. D4. I missed.
Wow! No!
Forgot about that. Alright, yeah, that's my turn.
The AC is exactly 24. Yep. Okay, Rocky, you're up.
Okay. Couple questions. How far away is she from me?
20.
Okay. And how deep is this water? Like, is it swamp where it's not like necessarily super deep?
Yeah, we haven't gotten really specific about that. Currently, Bran is occupying enough. Like, okay, let's put it this way. She's pretty tall, but she's standing in it and still able to reach Ronnie. So I'm going to say it's 10 feet deep.
Okay. That's fine. That should be fine. How tall is Rocky? We've never talked about that.
I'm going to say 10 feet just to make it a nice round number.
So if I were to be in the water, it would be
At your head.
all right.
The reason I'm going with 10 feet is because you are a large-sized creature, and large-sized creatures occupy a 10 by 10 square, so I would assume you are at least as tall as you are wide.
Well, and she's surrounded by the water.
Yes.
That wasn't the answer I was looking for, Jay.
I'm sorry to tell you.
I cannot do much to her if I can't reach her. But she's under the water too.
She is mostly under the water. Yes, she is a large-sized creature like you are, but remember, she's got like a 5-foot neck, so she's at least 15 feet tall.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to trigger my sphere power of leap. I'm going to augment it once to create it up to 30 feet. I'm going to augment it again to be able to get out of it at any point. I want to end on the opposite side of the new water elemental.
Okay. We're going in this direction anyway. There you go.
No, I want to be right next to her. I can come out at 25. I can come out at any point.
You're right next to her.
She's my target, so 3d8. 4, 7, 14, but she can save against that with a dex of 14.
She succeeds.
Okay, then she only takes half, so she takes 7.
Okay.
I am going to Has she been teleporting or moving?
So far, she's been physically moving through the space, with the only exception of that one time when she pulled on that thread in the weave and just appeared from one location and reappeared someplace else.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to do my action surge and hit her 3 times.
Cool.
Or attempt to hit her 3 times.
Yes.
25, 13, 27.
We'll hit. 2 hits.
All right, and that is 10, 14, so 24 points total.
24 points of damage.
In addition to the 7 I did from my blast.
Okay, so 24 plus 7 is 31.
Yeah. I think. And I think that's all I can do.
You take 10 points of psychic damage as those attacks trigger back. And then, how do you want to do this?
Nice. I think that I want my maul to hit her in her twisty long neck and break her neck. Snap it.
Okay. So as you careen over her head, trailing behind you, what kind of damage did you deal as you leaped? Fire?
Yeah, I mean it just, I don't know. It's just destructive blast.
I think it's bludgeoning unless you specify.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, so you buffet her with a pulse of destruction, knocking her back, and then spinning in the air as you fall onto her other side. You use her own momentum against her as you smack her once again on the other side of the skull, blowing her back the other direction as her neck sort of flails in the air like a giraffe. She turns back around to look at you and begins to speak yet another curse upon you. And as she begins to speak, the chorus of voices emerging from her many vocal cords filling her very thick, very long neck, you crush half of them with a single blow, and you swing around the other side, crushing the remainder, and you hear her neck physically snap, and it bends at a 90-degree angle, and the entirety of her body slumps into the water, and you see bubbles coming up for a solid 3, 5, 10 seconds, and then they stop.
And I am then underwater.
Correct. You see all of the golden threads vanish. All of the golden shining cattails go dead, normal brown coloration. The fog immediately lifts and disperses. And the only light source at this point, it's the dead of night. And the only light source that you see is this soft purple glow shimmering and moving with the movement of the water coming from her hand.
Her hand is shimmering, you said?
Yes, there is a glow, a pale, shimmering purple glow coming from the direction of her hand under the water.
All right, I will take a look at that. I'll
All right.
grab
As
whatever that is.
you're already underwater. You see that it is, in fact, a pretty good-sized amethyst.
Okay, I'll grab it and
All right.
wade towards shore.
You all reconvene on land. Okay, several things I need to resolve before we end session because it's pretty late. Number one, Bran, do you let your volcano die down?
I would say so, but I don't know if I have control of it.
Okay, cool. So you reconvene in a more safe location. Bran, at some point, you're going to revert to your mole form. You realize that your eyes in your mole form are still sealed shut, and they remain shut permanently. Another thing that you guys discover is anybody who was affected by the initial curse as you started the battle, that curse also persists. So until you find some way to deal with that, you will continue to be at a minus D4 on all of your attacks and saves.
So are Ronnie, Bran, and I still deaf also? Is
Yes.
Bran deaf? Bran was one of the deaf ones, right?
I am deaf, dumb, blind.
You are deaf and blind.
Man.
I mean, honestly, I'm still taking that D4, I'm guessing, so I'm dumb too.
Well, fair enough.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else that needs to be resolved.
Just like feeling around. Rocky!
Another thing that you discover with the very little sort of time that passes after the visitor dies is that there is, now that there's no fog obscuring anything, you start to hear a silence take over the marshlands that, Bran, you would not pick up on because you're deaf. But Jareth and Rocky, you don't hear the buzzing of insects. You don't hear the croaking of frogs. You do not hear anything but silence and the soft trickling of moving water as the marshlands are continuing to sort of settle from the melee. Those of you who can see, it's easy enough with the passive perception of the highest among you. Ronnie, I think you would have the highest. You notice coming from the direction of the northeast a horde of black shapes against the stars of the night. And you see blackening out those the light sources you can see, the moon and the stars. You see shapes passing over them, many flying shapes. They are maybe, you're going to guess a very rough estimation and say maybe 1,000 feet off, but it appears that they are coming.
1,000 feet?
And that's where we're going to end session. Oh, well done, guys.
That's cool.
You guys just killed your first
Check this talent.
eternal being. So, because I want to sort of brag on you guys a little bit, that was a full-on legit stranger. The first stranger you've ever met in person. And you killed her.
She was pretty cool. I think
So-
she showed us her character design like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I remember the long neck.
Yeah, here's the illustration that I had from way back then that I based her new design on. So this was the original drawing that I made.
Yeah, that's the one I remember.
So at some point, Chelsea, I would love for you to draw her. I think she'd be a really fun.
There were a couple of like camera shots that you described tonight that gave me some ideas. So I might,
Cool.
if I find some time.
Awesome. So yeah, should be fun. Thanks for playing, guys.
Yep.
There's no more fog.
Do we see Yara wandering off in the distance?
Oh yeah, you haven't seen Yara since. Like you have no idea where she is at this
Just
point.
like, hey, where'd everybody go?
She's
It was
gone.
actually Yara that we killed.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no.
That was sick. She's been secretly a stranger this whole time. Yeah.
Well, Chad gets to roll another new character.
I've come to really like Yara.
Well, all you watching online, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh,
We'll
right.
see you next week.